Hello everyone. Welcome to the Out of the Box Developer. We are starting one more session here, and I hope uh, you're all fine here. Let me just say quick hello to everyone. I think we have to fix here the cameras so we can see everyone. So first, let me say hello, Pedro. How are you, man?
Hello, Hugo. Hello, everybody. Thanks, Basil, to be here. Well, I'm great. Sorry to not be in the last sessions. I think it's been crazy. All this moving to Canada, it's been crazy. I think it's something we can talk like in some other session here. But yeah, it's nice to be here again.
Yeah, I'm sure there's many people that want to hear more about your adventure. You're
Oh,
joining Canada,
Being educated.
moving to Canada. Cool stuff. And dear Thiago, how are you, man?
hello everyone. I'm fine. Everything's going well here. All good. And same for me. Thank you, Bosler, for having to being here with us. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Great. And you, Igor, how have you been? I feel you shared that you are not too well today, right?
Yeah, I'm not at my 100%. I'm recovering from the flu, but I'm doing the effort to be together with you guys here today, learning. So, hi to you, Hugo, Pedro, Tiago, and welcome, Baslur. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm here
Thank you.
just to learn with it from a Java champion. Will be awesome to be talking about JDK 23 here.
So
So,
yeah, that's great because we're gonna be talking about JDK 23, and and we have Basil today here, our guest, Java champion, many years of experience, and also author of many very famous blogs, right, Basil? You have been publishing on InfoQ, DZone, Fuji, so awesome places that you have been contributing. So, welcome, Baslur. Huge thanks for accepting our invite here.
No, it's my pleasure. Basically, I enjoy talking to you guys, and it feels like we're in a safe place. I mean, Bruno talked about safe place, right? So this is a safe place, and we can pretty much discuss anything. And you guys are my friends, so yeah, it's pleasure to be able to join this session. I mean, I joined previously as well, but whenever you invite me, I really love that you guys think about me.
That's cool, man. So before we do start talking about JDK 23, I think there's many. I have been working with 21 and feel see so many awesome features, so many evolution since the last one I've been working that was 11. So it was a jump, a huge jump, and I'm very excited to see. I don't know when it will be JDK 23 releases. Does anyone have the date here? Release date already released for public?
I think
No,
it's generally available on 17th September, but it's already available. I mean, the second round, ramp down phase two is already available. The Jan availability would be 17th September, so it's already available. I mean, you can just pull the JDK and start playing with it.
That's cool. And what JDK version? If you are watching us, please share with us what JDK versions are you using right now. I just dropped my. I have been using 21 for proof of concept and also starting to create some applications here where I do work. How about you? I know that Pedro not using Java anymore, right, Pedro? You you went to Python environment.
Yeah, I'm infiltrated here, just seeing what Java is bringing to the table because yeah, it's been a while I used Java. Last time I was using it was Java 11. So yeah, I know that has been a lot of good stuff on there. And I don't know. It looks like to me that Java is seeing the changes in terms of syntax. It
Mhm.
maybe it's just my what I'm seeing from outside. What do you think about it?
From 21 to 23.
No, from the number of changes in terms of
Oh,
language
what
syntax and some stuff.
Yeah,
Changes in the language, I can say.
what I notice is that they have started to evolve much more the language in the latest years. That's why we started to see a lot of new numbers coming on, bringing stuff from other languages. So finally, we started to see the evolution of Java. It's not that dinosaur anymore that Python developers may joke, Pedro, come, Java is old. No, no, so Java is modern now, and that's awesome to see because that's one of the most used languages in the world. That's everywhere.
Yeah, and I think one of the most uh, important thing from Java, at least it's a thing that Java has that I give a lot of value for that. It's the compatibility. It's really hard to keep that, and they do it very well. We can see that with the sequence collections, with the project loan. So it's a totally thing that could be a really break chance, but they managed to be a really easy way to use and no one notice. You only update from 17 to 21, and then you have uh, Project Loan, you have virtual credits, and you have much high throughput. And yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah, when you update from 17 to 21, it's easier, but give it a try to update from 11 to 21. There's a lot of work you need to put
It,
on.
yeah. I think the hardest thing it's not related with Java. It's more related with
Yeah,
the frameworks, the
Spring and all the
libraries.
dependencies.
Yes,
Exactly,
yes,
exactly. Java is more straightforward.
yes.
Yeah.
Jakarta E,
I mean, Jakarta is
chance.
not yet 21. I mean, they are starting to support 21. I think JDK. I mean, Jakarta 11 will fully support. JDK 21. They are targeting, but obviously some other frameworks. Spring does support 21 now, but still there are certain issues. For example, one of the problem we face is that if you have a library that's written on a different way, for example JDK 21, one of the motivation is to use virtual thread, right? So you can use virtual thread, but at the same time, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So let's say if you have a library used previously, and that doesn't go with virtual. That, for example, it uses a lots of synchronization block, right? And we have a problem with the pinning issue in virtual. That if you have a use a synchronized block, that's a problem, right? That if synchronized block stays longer, I mean long duration, it will pin, and that's a problem. And if you were using one of the library that hasn't updated, um, so you are in some sort of problem. So all those problem is there, but it's still, I mean, a lot of people are migrating to JDK 21. For example, I've been using JDK 21 in production for like a year. So I'm happy with the a lot of interesting feature. For example, pattern matching is one of my favorite. You can use it to make your code way shorter. And if you use like record, and if you use the silk classes and then pattern matching, if you combine these three features, your code base really shrink dramatically, I mean, I would say. So it's super useful.
Yeah, yeah, totally agree. And also the unnamed variables, right? So we can break the record in only a few uh, lines or in only one line, and then you can break a lot of things. And instead of having many lives and if statements to avoid null pointer, using pattern matching, it does all of that for us. So yeah.
That's great to see, right? This evolution. This is something that I was mentioning. There's something these small things that makes the difference that other languages had, and now we are able to use these with Java as well. And in short, and the joke you cannot say anymore that Java is too verbose. It's starting to shrink, like you just mentioned, Basil.
Yes, I also can share that it's lots of improvement on readability. I when I do write code now using 21, it's really easy to write, read, and understand what's going on. So yep, I see lots of evolution that way.
Uh,
Um,
what are you using, Hugo, to help you to put on practice the new features from Java 21? Since you're migrating an application from 11 to 21, are you using AI to help
Oh,
you
no,
get
I'm
no?
not migrating. I'm just creating
No?
new
Okay.
applications. Yeah, but
Mhm.
the last one was 11. The last one I have worked
Mhm.
on was 11. And I'm
Yeah.
seeing here a lot of people mention it, reply to our question here. So hello,
Yes.
Andres. I see here you're using 21, 17, and 8. Uh, Channel Finrobe using 7, 8, 11. Whoa, actually,
7.
almost
Oh
all
my
of the
god.
versions.
You're a hero. You're using 7 yet. Oh my god.
I know projects in my team that is 6 Java 6 yet. So
Jesus.
yeah. So Andrea, hello Andrea, good to see you here. Igor Souza. So we have another Igor here, and he's from Dublin. Hola. At exactly weeks before release of Java 23. Exactly 2 weeks before release of Java 23. Yes, yes. So we're close to get the 23 here, and Andre is using 21. So many people here very updated, right, with new versions. I feel different environment today. In the past, I hear lots of people using older version because we couldn't go move forward with the applications in the company because there's a lot of constraint, right? Not just our company, but our customers can't afford to be upgrading the version. So sounds it changed a bit, right? I don't know how do you see that, everyone here?
Yes, in my opinion, I totally agree. I saw some applications that I don't know in 2016, 17 maybe, using Java 4. So yes, I saw some applications using really old versions. So I think in the past was more hard to move from one version to the other because you have several features, several things, and maybe all of these new things released at once at the same time was harder than nowadays. Because again, as Basler said, if anyone wants to use 23, it's available. Anyone can download and use it. It's not like published yet for I don't know public, but it's available because it's open source, so anyone can go and use it.
Yeah, but a question for Basler about this version. Should we just try it with the new features? I believe that it's not ready for production yet, right? It should wait for a little more.
I mean, are you talking about the preview version?
Yeah, the
I
JDK
mean,
23.
yeah. So some of the features preview version. Preview version is basically ready and pretty ready, I would say. It just it it just is given so that as a developer we can try and experiment with it with them and see if there are any issue we face, or provide if we could provide some of the feedbacks basically when it's available. we can try and see things and write about it and share our own opinion. Some of the feature probably the way they thought through are probably interesting. They thought that this is how we should do it. But as a developer, we have our own way of expressing things. For example, when we are trying, we see this feature probably could be better this way. So you can provide those feedbacks, and they can take those feedbacks and maybe incorporate some of those things. So I personally do a lot of try. I try them obviously and see how they feels, but probably not putting them in a production, probably not a good idea until they are really available. Without the preview version, for example, JDK 21 is probably the way to go. And if you have a big product, there is risk involved, right? So in that case, you probably want to use the LTS, but I don't find too many risk using the version which is generally available. But the only problem is you have to migrate every 6 months. So that's a kind of um, thing you probably have to think through. Basically, there is a pros and cons in both ways, right? If you want to wait 2 years, then when you are going to migrate, you have to do a lot of work altogether, in one go. And if you migrate every 6 months, then the work is little. So you are basically doing a small chunk of work every 6 months. So it's up to you basically. But personally, as a developer, I try all of them. I try even some features that are not available under preview version. They're just candidates. Someone is, the for example, I tried to build the latest JDK from like 24. 24 is not available right now, right? As a developer, I sometimes pull the source code and build on my machine and try them out to see how it feels. So as a developer, you can definitely play them out. So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Do
way,
you believe?
yeah, go ahead.
Go on, Basil.
No, that way you will able to provide more feedback, more constructive feedback when they're building those things, right? Developing those things. Yeah. In fact, that's how a feature evolves. If they get early feedbacks from developers like us.
Yeah, since you just mentioned you're pulling features that will be on GDK 24, have you ever found any bugs on any of these and you have contributed to fix these future features? And even if this is an opportunity for any of us to be
It's certainly an
trying around.
opportunity. Yeah, it's certainly an opportunity. I haven't personally done that, but it's certainly an opportunity to try it out and also contribute. It's an open source project. Even if you change a line in a documentation, that's the contribution. Or if you even talk about that particular feature through your blog post, that's also a contribution, because you are creating awareness. People are getting know from your let's say article. So all of them are contributions. So you can contribute through directly writing code. That's definitely great. Some people can do that, and some other people has other commitments, so they don't able to spend that much time uh, on contributing directly. So they write, they talk about this, they share, right? So any contribution is great.
And can we bring the 23 features that would be added on the I think if I'm not wrong here is on the Open JDK project JDK 23, right? The link to
Yes,
see
yes.
of changes.
Yes, do you know? Share?
Yeah, I just want to share the link here. So if you and ask to people here that's watching us, what are you most excited about the features on the JDK 23? And Basler, if you want to pick up some of them just to talk about, I think we can do that.
Sure, sure.
Which
I mean,
is good.
I am certainly excited about few things, but one of them, since I actually involved with in teaching, I share contents and I also teach people, especially those are new, beginners. So one of the particular feature that I'm really excited about, which is instance main method, I'm gonna start sharing that.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can share my screen. Mm, um, I'm probably gonna share my entire screen first,
Let's
and
yeah, we are seen here.
okay, so this is a quiz for everyone. I mean, okay, so this is I'm gonna remove this and I'm gonna go into presentation mode. How do we do that? Okay, so this is a presentation mode, and I can really make it large. So this is a main.
Let's put ourselves here. I think it's better.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
So can you see that? Right? You can see
Yeah.
that. Okay, so the question gets to be, I mean, obviously it's obvious over here because we're talking about Java. It's look like Java source code, but if you just um, think, I mean, just focus on this code, right? I haven't done any really significant code over here. It's just a few lines, 2 lines, 3 lines, basically. So, what do you think about this code? What kind of programming language does come to your mind
It
seeing
looks
this?
like Python.
Yeah, so maybe we can
See,
ask this question to audience. What do you think? Mm, uh, what is the programming language I have used over here, and if I run it, will it run? So that's going to be the questions for you all.
Let's see if
looks like C to me.
Okay,
if
that's good. Have you heard of Python? There's a
Python.
programming language called Python. It's basically Python with
Python.
bracket, not Python, Python.
Python.
so they so basically Python is like Python but with braces basically. So
Crazy. Oh
some
yeah.
some
See.
some guys trying to add braces to the Python.
Uh,
Anyway, it's not Python, but yeah. What do you think? All right. I mean, it is obvious because I have created a project with Java stereotype over here, right? It sounds like Java, and because we have curly braces and then semicolons, and we have the legendary println. But the question gets to be, if I click on this button, will it run?
Depend on which version are you using.
Well, I'm using the latest one, which is basically JDK 23rd.
Yeah, we hope it runs. You have this shortened name.
All right,
everyone
so
wants
let's see if it
is
runs. Okay, yeah,
betting
gonna
jump.
There it is.
there it is. It ran. So basically, this is how shortened
Oh,
Java
I'm
program
gonna
can be.
stop here.
Previously, if I remove this, I mean comment it out. So earlier we had to write something like that. We had to write a public class, something like that. Then this was the
Yeah,
previous code basis. So we wanted to just print hello world. And to achieve that, we had to do a lot of ceremonial stuff. For example, we have to write public classes and the name of the class. And then you have to write a main method, which has three other, keywords over here, public, static, and then uh, you know, inside the braces, you have to inside the parenthesis you have to use, what do we call it? I forgot. Bracket, inside the bracket, right?
Mhm.
So you have to you have to add the string and then a square bracket and all those things. And then there was a println method also. What are these basically? So if you want to explain this to a beginner who doesn't have any sort of programming background, he or she just started writing, learning Java, you are in trouble because you probably will be able to explain what are these keyword stand for and why we are using it, but they will not be able to grasp it because they have just started, right? So
Mm.
that those are the problem. And now, since we don't need any of those things, we can just remove all these things, and it still works. I mean, I have removed the the class name definition. I mean, it still works. Okay, so how about we remove the static? Let's see if it works. So looks like it still works. Maybe I remove the public as well. I mean, it's noise, and if I run it, it looks like it still works. So there is multiple ways to do that same thing. So the entry is now more flexible. So how would this these are not useful over here. I mean, I'm not using any of this argument, and I'm not passing anything, so maybe I can remove them as well, and see if those works, if that works. It looks like it works. Now I just want to print something on this screen, I mean in the console, right? So what are this system dot out print out is doing over here? I have no idea. Maybe I can just call a function to print something, which is println, which makes sense because print ln means new line. It's easy to explain. So yeah, I mean that's it. Basically, it's a 3 line of code. It doesn't have any noise over here. I mean, you still have to explain void over here, but that's easier than explaining public static, all the other stuff. And let's say I want to take some inputs, right? So I can take the inputs as well. So let's say var int x. You know so there is a new class in Java. I mean, added. This is still preview version. This is automatically imported. um, you don't have to import it. For example,
I was to ask that. You don't need to import it
yeah,
instead.
you don't need to. Yeah, it's automatically imported. It's called IO. It's a new class edit. It's still preview. I can go into that. So this is the class. It's available since JDK 23.
Mm,
It's a preview version. Probably in future, I mean, it's in the third preview, right? So probably, I don't know which preview version it is, but it's in under preview version. So hope this class is automatically imported, so you don't have to import. And there is only three method over here: println, and there's another one called print. Basically, you can, if you want to print without any new line, that's its for. And there is another for read line, which is basically, um, you can read it. It's more like Python, for example, something like that. Read like ln, I think. So you can enter over here. Okay, I have enabled some what do you see? I have enabled uh, autopilot, and it does a lot of weird things. So now we have added var over here. I don't have to explain anything,
yeah.
integer or other things. You can just declare a variable x and read ln, and then you can print it. So print ln you entered x. So that's it.
Hey,
Now let's see if
Basler,
it.
a question. This readln, it's a substitute of the old scanner. That's a console scanner that we had in the previous versions, or is it a different thing?
We can go into it and see what is. I
Implementation.
don't remember actually. So let's see. IO. Let's go into the class and read ln. There is a method called read ln. Okay. So basically, there is a call console and system console. Okay, what does it? It looks like a really a class that's it's available since 1.6. So um, what does inside println? So maybe okay. I don't know why it's unsupported. Maybe there is the implementation. Okay, so there is a delegation. Okay, so JDK console. So there is the implementation. Okay, so we're going into the rabbit hole. Basically, there is, but
It seems to be something.
yeah,
Yeah, it seems to be
it's
different.
a reader.
Yeah, it's
ultimately it's a reader, right? You can see it's a reader. Yeah, so it's a reader. So there is a ultimate lot of implementation. Probably it's buffer reader or something like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, going into rabbit hole. But yeah, I mean it's looks like the similar way we used to do, but it's much more handy.
Mhm.
Mm. So yeah, that's
Awesome.
now let's try running it if it works.
You imported the reader and
Uh,
the ID imported for you.
Yeah, ID imported because the ID is not updated
No,
yet, so
yeah,
it's trying to import it, which we don't need it.
that's great.
Hopefully, if ID updates after a few updates, it will be fixed, I guess. So
Internal
as you can see,
SE.
I can enter a number over here. Let's say I have entered
23.
23. Yeah, why not
23 is
23?
good.
Enter
Yeah,
23.
it
Okay.
works the same way of that scanner, but it's much more cleaner.
Yeah,
Right,
No
much more
comparison.
cleaner. It's easy to explain the beginners basically.
for the beginner.
Mm.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you don't have to explain a lot of
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
for example, I always explain with the there is a thing called scanner. Usually before using it, I used to I use like this scanner.
mhm.
um, then I have to write something like that.
Yeah.
So they would ask why we're creating new over here,
What
and
is
what is
new?
this?
Yeah. What is this? What is
What
there?
is this? Oh, yeah.
I
Absolutely.
totally understand you. When I
Yeah, so
tried to.
those are not difficult question. I mean, those question are valid question, but only thing is if someone is new who doesn't have those prior knowledge, it's difficult
Mhm.
to explain because they will not grasp. They will not be able to grasp those answers. So now you have less questions and you are comfortable with that. So I'm absolutely loving it. I mean, and you can write even methods over here. Writing methods is easier, right? I mean, you can just write public. Sorry, you don't have to write public even. Get greetings. Let's say I have a methods get greetings, and instead of hello world, I can just call get greetings and put in the variable greetings and pass these greetings to over here. So I can definitely write a method over here as well. You don't have to write a static method. I mean, previously we used to explain with the static method, and then you have to explain what is a static keyword stands for, right? So you don't have to do that. So yeah, I mean, now it will work the same way. And also you can declare variable over here, integer x or y is equal to let's say 10, right? Something like that, and you can directly use them over here. So it's much easier, I feel like. And so this is the feature. I mean, it's not super useful for production for a seasoned developer like us, right? But it's useful if you are a teacher, if you are creating the next generation of Java developers. Then obviously this is super useful. um, so
That's
yeah,
amazing. Yeah, that's
so that
amazing, Basil.
yeah, so that's a feature I'm really excited for, because I deal with a lot of beginners, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah, this is an awesome feature. This helps a lot for beginners because now it's much
mhm.
more easier to start doing things in Java.
Yeah, yeah. And before continue, Basil, let me just say quick hello here. Some new people type it on the chat. So Andreas Alcaz said about C, look like C when you asked the regarding to the code. And we have Lucas Fujisawa here also mentioned C. Um, Miguel Jr. Hey Miguel, how are you? You're using version 8 Android Project Company. Great. And yeah, we have Bruno here. So Bruno, say hello to you, Basil.
Hey, Bruno.
Hello, Bruno.
Say hello to Tim and ask it regarding to both. Basil, are you in Canada right now?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto.
Oh, I didn't know
Ah,
that. Oh,
your
big.
Oh,
neighbors
really?
now.
Me too.
Your neighbors,
We
love.
have these friends actually in the same place.
Oh, in the same city actually.
Okay,
Oh,
we definitely need to meet someday.
oh, sure. Yeah, and me to have a coffee.
Yeah,
I want
we'll
to know.
have Tim
Java.
Horton.
I want to know where you found that beach in Toronto, Basler.
I don't know. It just I there's a list of virtual background over here.
Yeah,
I just picked one.
I'm joking. Just joking.
I mean, Toronto doesn't have a beach like this, but we have a lot of what do you say, fresh water. You know, uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen
So
some stuff from there. You're near to, I believe it's the Niagara Falls. Is that closer to?
like two
About
hours drive
two,
from
three
2 hours,
here.
hours.
right? That's
Yeah.
good.
But it's closer. I mean, Canada is big
Yeah,
city, so Niagara Falls is definitely very close to where we live. If you go from one province to another province, it's like a long flight. By the time in if you are in Europe, by the time you will be able to travel like few countries already.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
The distances in America are very different compared to Europe. In Europe, you just
Mhm.
travel 1 hour and you're in another country.
yeah.
Another passion, not many countries actually.
Yeah.
Well, that's also about and well, we definitely need to to meet sometime. Do we have any Java user groups here in Toronto?
Yes, we have one called Toronto Java User Group, and we meet every month. Last Thursday, I think.
Last Thursday
Last
of the
week's
month.
Thursday. Yeah, last week's Thursday. So I'll share with you the
Yeah,
this
please.
called
We can
Tija.
participate as well.
That's really cool. I think one of the best thing also regarding to Java is the community. We have lots of places. I always have some community nearby. So yeah, that's awesome. um, oh, good. So I see here the list of these of the features. This is what we call implicitly declared classes and instance main method, right? It's a third preview, the JAB 477. I just trying to find here the name, the correct name. And
Yeah,
actually,
it's 477 implicitly declared classes
the
and
correct-
instance main method. Yeah, it's still in start preview. So hopefully, I believe it will be um, it will be integrated in one of the next release. I hope. I'm looking forward to basically.
yeah, I think that will be amazing to introduce it on the schools where people are taking the first look on the language. I totally understand the, oh, what, why this system in, why I have to do new scanner. When I have to teach my sister, it was something like that. And she moved to Python after that. Um, and yeah, I was curious. Do you know if these implicit declared classes it is only for those only for the main class, or can I use for any kind of classes that there is some standard that will be following, and I don't know, we don't need to declare any modules.
So there is a new features. This is available, which is called module import. It's also under preview version. I mean, it's probably, yeah, it is 477. The idea is Java is modular, right? For example, SQL has a module, and other Java IO has a module, right?
Mhm.
So there's plenty of modules, right? We know that. So with this module import, if you want to use anything from that particular module, like for example SQL, right? SQL has a lots of classes, and when you see in a source code, you will see lots of import statement on top of that, and sometimes you have to scroll, right? So the module import declaration is going to minimize that things. Basically, you can just import a module. You don't have to explicitly import every packages. So if you import a module, it will import all the all the classes are available in that module will be automatically imported in our class file. So that will minimize the import statement. So I'm also looking forward to that. It's still under preview version, so hopefully when it's fully available, we can reduce the import statement. And by default, some of the modules, for example, the base module is going to be always imported automatically. So base module has a lot of classes, right? So you don't have to implicitly import that. And for example, we use collections framework for many cases. I mean, we in fact, collection framework is one of the heavily used package, right? List, set, hash map, all those things. So if you just import util module, let's say, I'm just saying, then you don't have to import all of those things. It's automatically available, so you
Uh,
can just use them.
but if you have this feature, how about the fight between the asterisk, the import everything and import
Okay,
one
so
by
sometimes, I
one?
mean, if there is a conflict, you have to specifically, implicitly, explicitly, import that. I mean, for example, AWT has a list and collection framework has a list, and if you want to import both of them, then you have to explicitly mention those import to
Mhm.
resolve the
Yeah.
um, what do we say, conflict. But if there is no conflict, then we're good to go.
Okay, great.
There are some metrics when you run quality codes like Sonar that they have some certain rules. Do not import more than 4 or 5 individuals, and then it mandatory makes you import with the star. And others say that you should not import the whole package because of security issues, because you can bring something that it's not being used. How do you see
I mean, those are
having this?
I mean, those are definitely a discussion. I mean, as a team, for example, in your organization, you have to decide what's policy you want to
Mhm.
use for your. I mean, what policy basically works for your team, right? It depends on. I mean,
Mm.
obviously there are certain debates. So for example, people use two space, some people use tab, those sorts of debates is all over the places. So it's
Yeah,
depends on you how you're gonna adopt. And if
Manage
you see,
your own
yes,
repository, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's up to you basically. So there will be always debates, and some
Mhm.
people likes this way, some people likes the other way. So yeah, you just have to figure out your own and if you're working in a team, just discuss, hey, this is the things, we are we good to go ahead with this, or what do you think? Basically, you can obviously discuss with your teams, and then figure out one way, and then stick to it. So
great,
but yeah, personally I feel like it's a useful features, useful things, because it certainly reduce lines of code in the source code. And I as a developer, I really don't want to scroll a huge code base. If it is shorter, concise, I love it.
yeah, much better to read, right? You don't need to be scrolling around another a lot of stuff that is not needed. Just go
Right,
to the point.
exactly.
Well, only before moving to the next one, Andres make a good point here. He said he talks about the preview feature that we forgot to mention that because Bosley you ask if it will work or not. It works because you have enabled the preview features, right?
Yes. I forgot to mention that, but whenever I write about a preview feature, I usually mention that. But yeah, you definitely have to provide preview feature. But if you're using advanced ID, like I was using IntelliJ IDEA, they automatically import enable that flag. So that's why I probably forgot. But yeah, if you are running on a command line, then you definitely have to enable preview features. For example, I can show you that how to do that. It's easy. And let me share my ID again.
Yeah. And
Um,
I
this
think
is
it's
very
easier
important.
to explain preview than it's enable preview features then system in and system out for new joiners.
um, yeah. So basically, if you want to enable this, for example, let me go into this um, repository. So let's. Okay. So this is the code base that I want to run in a command line, right? So let me see where I am. pwd cd source main java. So I'm over here. As you can see, the class is here, cdf. So if I run it, let me know if you can see it. So if I want to run like this, java cdf uh, java, it will not work. As you can see, it says use enable preview to enable the unnamed classes, because it's a preview feature. It's not enabled. It's not generally available yet, right? So I can just copy it. So Java enable, right? And you have to add one more flag, which is source, which version of JDK you are using. Um, this is still not gonna work for on my machine. Probably let me try anyway. CDF. Sorry. Okay. So Java. Let's see which version of Java I'm running on my terminal. So yeah, it's using 21. So I have to switch to 23. Okay, Java version. Okay, now I'm running 23. As you can see, it's the early release version 29. So I always keep updating, keep pulling the latest one. Now, if I try the previous one, so now as you can see, it ran perfectly. So yeah, so the command is, if you want to run any preview version through command line, and you have to add these additional flags, which is basically this uh, Java, and then enable preview, and you have to mention the source, which is 23, and then you can put the um, class file. So that's how you do it. Okay, so I want to, while I'm sharing the screen, I want to show you another quick features. Maybe I can just comment it out, because ID is completing. um, so maybe I can show you a few more features. Especially, I'm really excited about the pattern matching. So for example, we have a switch method over here, right? So this is integer x. This is how we used to write, right? We had to provide um, case statement, and then you have to write something like that, and then break, and then do something like that, right? So now we can definitely improve it. We can try Swiss expression. For example, if we want to move this into a method, let's say I want to move this in a method, get translated. Let's say I want to translate any value from here, and I can basically, instead of printing over here, what I can do is I can return value from here as well, something like that. Those changes are looks like this. Let's say I don't want to print over here, rather I can just sorry, not print, I just pass the return statement. And for the case 2 and default, let's say other, I'm going to remove this one. Okay, so sounds good. And that's it. I mean, this is much better, right? And I can just uh, get the translated value, and then I can print it
Yeah.
however I want. So So the latest features, I mean, in the preview version, which is included in JDK 23, it works on primitive value basically. I mean, we have other option earlier. We have other, this is the new edition basically in JDK 23rd, but I'm always spelling the other wrong. But yeah, so you can certainly operate on the primitive fellow basically. That's a new edition. But what I'm going to show you over here is basically this. So let's say I have this expression, right? I have expression. It's a still interface, and it permits a few implementation, which is basically some records, constant expression, plus expression, time expression, and then there is a negative expression. All right. So it's basically an expression evaluator, and I have a method over here called static, evaluation. We can pass an expression over here, and then I can switch over based on the expression over here. You see, I have done a few things over here. So first of all, um, you know it's a expression is an interface, right? So we can have a various type of implementation, right? I mean, if it was not a still interface, let's say it is not a still interface, right? Then we probably did not need this. Let's say we don't need any of those things. Now over here in the Swiss expressions, we needed a default branch. Otherwise, the compiler would not be able to infer that how many implementation are there. I mean, we have mentioned 4 over here, but the implementation can be like limitless. So for example, if it was an object has a millions of implementation. I mean, so it's not totally exhaustive. So with this SILT interface, now I know expression has only 4 implementation over here, not more. So we don't need a default case over here, and it's pretty exhaustive. That means only 4 option can be there. There is no other options over here, and compiler can pretty much understand that. And if we have if we add anything else over here, compiler will immediately catch it, and so that will also prevent some error while we're typing, while we're building products. And apart from that, as you can see, I mean, this constant expression, basically it's a what do you say? It's a record. So it's one liner, right? And it's also deconstructed over here. So directly access the field. We don't have to do something like this. For example, in previously we probably had to do something like C E. We have to create name a variable, and then using C we have to call it hello. So you don't have to do that. You can directly access the field without declaring a variable over here. So, and you don't have to specify the type over here. Compiler can automatically infer it's an integer, because this is how we defined our constant expression. And similarly over here, as you can see, we deconstructed the field over here as well. And so this is about like as you can see, we have like 19 lines of code, and this is the expression that I wanted to evaluate. And if I can run, it will run, and it will evaluate the expression, which is 25. So if I used a traditional approach other than this sealed interface and how do we say record and then pattern matching, it will take around 60 line of code. I tried that. It's not here, but I tried in some other project, and that would take like 60. And compare this 60 line of code can now reduce to only 19 line of code with these 3 features, which is sealed interface and record and also pattern matching. And I feel like this is super concise. You can see only the code you are interested in. There is no noise. You can just see this evaluation method taking expression, and I'm doing a switch operation and returning the evaluation, and yeah, that's it. It doesn't have anything more than what we need basically. So that's how much concise Java can get now with this latest uh, JDK. So I personally really love this feature, and so try it out. I mean,
Yeah, this is amazing. And because you have this power of deconstructing the record, we can also use unnamed variables, right? If you do not want to use the variable, we can only use the underscore and
mhm.
does not need to use var and the name of the variable and things like that.
Right,
So
right.
if you have a instance of method, you can deconstruct the record and then get only the field that you want. And this is awesome.
And is this a feature exclusively to the Java 23, Basler? This
I mean,
feature?
the Silk interface is available earlier version, I think
Okay.
17 or 16, and the record is also available in
Yeah.
17, I think.
Yeah,
um,
record, yes.
yeah, the pattern matching partially also available until 17, and also in 21 fully, but 23 added additionally primitive types, which is integer, long, all those things. But previously it was only operated on the you know um, reference type. So now it operate on primitive types as well.
That's great.
So for example, over here, right, if you have a error code, let's say you get error code from a API, and you have to do some additional method, you have to add additional business logic based on the error code, so you can switch over it. You can case 202, you can do succeed, you can do all sort of things. And you can also do a complex uh, you know ba- complex expression over here. For example, if it is a greater than or equal 14 and smaller than 5, it's a client error or something like that. You can do all sort of things.
That's new for me.
And we can also cap the no statement, right? So you
Yeah,
can
you can
have the
also do
case
the
no.
null statement. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. For example, over here, as you can see, I have an example over here. So let's say object, right? If it is a null, then you can add a null statement, and also you can pretty much combine null and default, together. But you can also separate them, so yeah, you can add null as well. Here is another example. For example, this is separate. If if it is a null, then you can just catch it at the first case and then get over it. And then if it is not null, then you can gradually come to if it is integer string, or if it is an integer, or if there is a default statement. So yeah, so there is another one. I mean, probably I can show you. This example is a bit complex, right? For example, I'm interested in description over here, whole things, right? So this book is a this book object. Let's go over here. Book is a record. In the record we have another record, right? It's a reference record field, right? I mean, it's a complex object. The tree is a complex, right? Book, and then inside book there is an author. If you want to deconstruct in the case statement, as you can see, you can deconstruct like this. Inside book you have title, which is a var, and inside there is another record, which is a field of book, and you can deconstruct like this. So because you are interested with the name and email, not the author object itself, so you can deconstruct like this. So you can do a lot more interesting stuff. And I can show you.
I,
I can. Yeah, go
I
ahead.
think this is a little bit weird at the beginning, but later on we can get used to it. And with that,
Right.
we can avoid no pointer, right? Because if you have a book, but the book doesn't have an author, with this statement, it does not throw an exception. So we avoid the necessity to have the if book dot author is not null.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. So here's the thing. When you are constructing, you were using record heavily, um, we are coming to a new pattern, new way of paradigm, which is called data oriented programming. So something like that, you will probably not, you are going to design your application, sorry, your software in a way, you program in a way that you probably don't have to deal with null, because there might be a default author, right? For example, you can define, if the author is not actually available, you can create a default author, which is probably, it doesn't hold the real value, probably some dummy value, but you can, do a pattern matching on top of it, something like
Mm.
that, so you can come up with different ways to, sort of, what do we say, obviously it's not, fully a functional programming language, right? I mean, Java is not a functional programming language. Java has some feature of functional programming language. It built as an object-oriented programming language, and it has null inbuilt from the very beginning. So we have to carry those burden, to some degree. But yeah, we can avoid, dealing with null to some degree. For example, optional has, we can use optional, right?
But but I have a question, Bosler. I don't know if you can answer that. We can do that this construction things with record, but
Mhm.
we cannot do that with class, right?
No, we unfortunately we cannot do this deconstruction with class, regular class.
Do you know if there is a draft for it, or if there is any intent to do that thing, or not really? If it's possible.
Probably this will not work on the regular classes. The obvious reason is, I can say, uh, the way record is designed is, it's an immutable data structure, right? Record is sort of immutable data structure. So once you define the value in it, you are sure that, those value are not going to alter, right? So it will remain when you construct it. For example, when you get a get book over here, so all the value will remain the same. It will not, change. So if things get changed, that's, you have to add a different consideration. So in those scenario, pattern matching will behave differently. So that's why probably, it's probably not going to work with the regular classes, because it will add additional complexity. So to make it simple, and uh, in fact, if you try a pure functional programming language, you will see the way we deal with null in object oriented programming doesn't exist in those pure functional programming language. That's how we can do pattern matching, right? So we probably have to think, those aspects.
Yeah, I see that uh, immutability aspects of these of the records makes it easier to implement these kind of features, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I see many edgy cases when it is mutable and we have to deliver this kind of feature, and they have to give many different cases. Also,
Uh,
I see here Andres mentioned here isn't new added to the SKs now. I think it was when we are discussing about when author an attribute inside the record it's new. So I think it won't fall in the new case, right? It will be
but yeah,
enough.
but sorry,
Go
Igor.
ahead.
Sorry, I think Andres is asking because he then put another comment about which version the null case was added in Java. I think it was, and
Oh,
maybe
sorry.
Basler will know better than me, but I think it was on Java 21, if I'm not wrong,
It
the
probably
new
21.
case.
Yes, it probably 21. As far as I remember, but yeah, it's since 21.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a preview feature or not in 21, but yeah,
We can certainly check. But yeah.
but yeah.
I see.
Oh, it's
not
it's
on
added in
campus.
Java 17, I think.
Hmm.
Okay.
Probably.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
it's a long
I
time
just had
available.
a yeah.
Yes. I'm checking here. Yeah, 21 was the final version, so you have this null statement in Java 21. Okay.
Cool.
The new thing here now in Java 23 related with that, it's the primitive types,
Yeah,
right?
primitive type, right? Support of primitive type.
And
Uh, the discussion is good about that question from Miguel Jr. I think he's talking about the unnamed, no, the unnamed patterns and variables. I think to hide, it's possible hide any attribute inside case.
That I'm not aware of. I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything like that.
It's not the unnamed variables.
So unnamed variables is like that. Let me give you an example if I can keep. So let me see if I have an example.
Maybe
Uh,
I misunderstood the question from
so
Miguel.
so
I think
so
he was
let's
talking
say,
about that.
yeah, he was talking about something else. For example, case. For example, let's say I have case book
oh,
right over here, but in this case, let's say I'm not interested in title. I don't care about title for
hmm,
this case, right? I can just use uh,
author and
yeah, I can just do something. Let's say I'm interested in author only, so I can do this var, and then I don't have to write this variable over here because I don't care about it, so I can just ignore that. Maybe I don't care about the email as well, so I can just add var.
hmm.
I can use var as well. So
But I will need to add those anyway, right? Because they need to be in the place. These
Um,
vars.
yeah,
the
The,
last
the
one.
VARs, actually, I think we do not need a VAR, right? Or we need that, I think.
I think you
Yeah,
maybe you
it's
need
indeed.
yeah, you don't need them. Uh, So I think okay, so maybe I have to move this down or something like that. No, you have to need them basically. It's
Var, right?
complaining.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
maybe you have to change the. I think because
you
the
have.
case falls in the both. I think you can use just the case that you already have implemented.
Um, yeah,
Uh,
maybe I remove this. Basically, it looks like same, right? Case.
yeah, it will
So
fall in the same. Mhm.
yeah, that's why it's complaining. Yeah. So probably I'm not sure if I remove this bar. Let's see if it complains or not.
Oh, it
Oh,
does
you don't.
complain.
No, it worked.
I would complain.
Yeah.
But can I let
Hey,
the last one?
before you wanna complain code review,
Maybe. So can I let the last underscore empty? So just author name if I use only the first one and not use the last one. The only author var name and without
No, I
the
think
last
this is not possible. Removing the last, no, yeah, remove on the last one, right? The last
yeah.
underscore, I think it's not possible.
This is. Did you
I think not exactly this. If you do back
The
from
author.
uh,
Just leave the name. I believe you
yes,
was mentioned.
only author's name without the email underscore
Okay, so you have to do something like this, I guess.
var name and just that.
Var name, and you have to
Just that.
still add this.
You have to add this last
Yes, you have to, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the question. Okay,
So maybe I can just return name over
but
here.
it's really it's interesting.
Yeah,
It's really powerful. Yeah.
yeah, it's powerful, and in I mean personally, there are use cases over here. For example, let's say I can give you a quick example. For let's say I have a string value, right? Uh, I know it's I'm going to do a try catch, and inside try catch I'm gonna parse it, right? Integer parse int value, and I am going to do something on it. And I'm pretty sure if it fails, it's going to be number null pointer exception, right? And then you always ignore that. For example, I'm not saying you should, but let's say you just ignore that, right? You can just do this. So that's one case I feel like super useful when you were ignoring.
Yeah, since each version you have these ignoring values, Baslo.
Hmm.
You know from which version we can start using these.
This
You
is still preview. This is still preview version, I think.
Oh, this is from the 23, so it's just a preview.
Right, it's still preview, I think.
Yeah, it will be interesting.
Cool. Oh well, yeah, Miguel just mentioned it here. I quoted that idea. So thanks, Baslur. Mention it here. And Andres Alcaz, I think everyone here as Andres, we thought it was newer, but it's available since 17, right? Uh, the thing with the no case on
Yeah,
the
null case. Yeah,
yeah.
null
Okay.
case is probably JDK 17.
17. Yeah. So yeah, I think we are already on time as well. But I was enjoying a lot to see many of these features available. How the structuring I've been using a lot on JavaScript when I have to do some destructuring variables, and it's really useful. Sounds to be very interesting to start working with records more often, and use a lot this use and abuse this feature in the future. But yeah, very interesting. I really appreciate all the examples that you bring here, Basler. Much better to see it working and showcase. I know it's more challenging for you, right, to be live coding all the stuffs, but
Yeah.
it was amazing lessons, at least for me. I don't know if everyone here wants to add something before we end the session today.
Only thanks, Basler, for being here. Many useful things. We can see that Java is evolving a lot. And now with Trend 3, we have more than 10 jobs, right? So we have many more features. It's impossible to talk about all of them in only 1 hour. So yeah, thank you to share all of these new features and also old features, but features that are still new for many of us. So thank you for sharing of this knowledge.
Yeah, it was great, Basler. Thanks a lot for sharing it, having an overview of what's coming on, having a look on what's new. Like I just mentioned before, it's great to see this evolution and these new tools for us, for many of us that are Java developers.
So
You have these.
before we go, I have a small plugin that I want to
Oh, cool.
share. I have,
Great. The bonus is for you that stay until the end. Here goes the bonus
I
from
just
Basler.
want to share a small plugs. Sorry about that, but I thought, I mean, since you were enjoying this, I thought maybe I shared this. So I mean, I have writing a book on LeanPub. Basically, with all these new features Java has, added. It's a pretty evolving book. I haven't completed it. I'm regularly, upgrading. So it's available. Let me share the screen again, if you permit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, share the screen again. So let me see. Let me know if you can see this.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see.
Okay, so this is the book that I'm currently working. So if you are interested, it's not fully complete, right? It's about 45% complete, and so I have I've been adding new stuff. So basically all this stuff, all the latest stuff that I have discussed over here, and then there are many other pending stuff, right? Many new stuff is coming, right? So I'm basically compiling all of them into this book, I have written extensively many of those in various platforms. One of them InfoQ and Foje and other places. So basically, what I did over here is I accumulated all of them and refined a bit and putting in a book format so that it's easier to follow, and you can get everything in one place. So that's the book that it's still early release, and it's pretty evolving. And uh, yeah, if you want to grab a copy, you can, and you can definitely give me some feedbacks while you if you can read it, if you read it right. I mean, it's a raw version, so hopefully when I'm gonna complete it, it will evolve into completely different thing, but we'll learn along the way. So if you want to stay with me with the journey, you are welcome.
Oh, that's amazing, Basler. Can you share the link here on the chat so everyone can
Yeah,
also?
I can certainly share the link over here. I don't know, my link is not working for some reason. I cannot type the link.
You
um,
can type on the guest chat. So I
no, it's not working.
not working. Okay.
Okay, Pedro already shared, so that's the
Oh,
link.
great.
So yeah, feel free to get a copy if you are obviously interested in this all the new features Java has to offer.
That's amazing. And so not just the new features available and showcase here today. We do also have a nice book to be following up with the new feature, new stuff that Java is bringing. So that's amazing, Butler. I just shared the link here on the chat so everyone can follow you and your journey, right?
Yep. And also, apart from that, I'm also I have another book coming, which is, I don't know, my keyboard is not working for some reason. Oh, I don't know, but anyway, my keyboard is not working for some reason. I don't know
Oh.
why. Let me see.
Wow. If you were using Windows, I would say that it's Windows, but you're on Mac.
Yeah. I really don't know. For some reason, my keyboard is not working. Probably my the. I mean, why it's not working? Okay. Okay, now it's working.
Now
No,
it's
it's fine.
back. Now it's back.
Okay. So there is another book that I'm currently working with O'Reilly.
Wow, awesome.
So this is basically, I mean, it's on O'Reilly. So if you have subscriptions, you can only you can read it. Unfortunately, because it's not published yet. So let me show you. So this is called Modern Concurrency in Java. If you're interested in virtual threads, this is where you can get all the things in one place.
Cool.
Um,
That's awesome, right?
yeah, so it's not complete. I have only
Awesome.
written 3 chapter. I have 5 more chapter to go. Hopefully I'll be able to finish it, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I think I got the link here.
Okay,
Absolutely great.
sorry
Uh,
for selling things, but yeah, I mean, it just,
No,
I
that
thought
was
this.
amazing.
No.
I would even like to ask you, since some of us are also writers, we're writing books and articles and all that stuff. How do you handle to be in many projects and also writing different books, and like you're working two different books for right now, right?
So okay, so how do I do this? Basically, I write regularly on different platforms, like blogs, right? From InfoQ and Foze and other things. So it's a sort of habit. I try to come up with one article every week. That's a commitment I have. And the book is basically it's an accumulation of all the work I have done so far, right? So for virtual TED, I have already have written extensively in various platforms. So from that, I just refined it and put in a book format. So it's not a lot of work, but at the same time, some work obviously, because you have to refine them. And what I do is I maintain a list. I have a whiteboard behind my back. So what I do over here is I put a to-do list, and then basically I put a priority. This is the priority, and then so it's constantly remind you that this is the things you have to do. So whenever you find a little time here and there, you focus on that, and make some progress. Basically, you will not be complete fully, right? So let's say you committed to write a 10 page in this week, but let's say you have done only one page, but that's at least some progress, right? So maybe in 10 weeks you'll complete 10 pace, but still it's a progress. So a little progress makes and after a few while it accumulates. So that's how I actually do things.
That's amazing. So you do
Yes.
document your progress all the time. So you have the content to be refined and then transform it into a book. That's amazing. That's a great way to actually have. Any of us, we do read a lot of things. We do have to deal with a lot of different problems, and yeah, documenting every progress would be great to help us create content. Right? I really appreciate these tips.
Yeah, exactly. I would also make Hugo my words. Thanks a lot for sharing these tips. This is absolutely awesome. You can be in every portal, publishing, being present, and then you're also getting this stuff compiled for your books. Of course, like you just mentioned, you refine it, you have it a little bit more back, but that's great because you're not just starting from the zero from beginning. You have a starting point. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks a lot for these tips, Laszlo. I believe that these are very helpful for every us that writes on tech portals, and even for us that are writing a book right now.
Yeah. So yeah, first of all, I, I mean, there is a benefit of publishing in art in article format in different uh, platform. The benefit is, let's say you have published an idea in a Foze. Some people will read it, and then you'll, if they don't like it or if they find some problem, they will give you a feedback. So that way you will learn that you made a mistake somewhere, and you can then fix it. And now that you have fixed that, the thing you have now is more refined. Now you can work on top of it and add more stuff and put in a book format. So
Great, great. So you have your book reviewed before starting writing a book. That's great.
yeah, I'm giving all the tips free.
That's great. That's great.
Cool.
All
Okay.
right, guys.
So
Sorry.
no, that it was amazing, Basler. If you have more time or any other dates that's available, I would appreciate to see other features on the 23. I see lots of, as Thiago mentioned, there's lots of other features on the list, but it was really good to see it working on and a hands-on practice here. I really appreciate. So once again, I just want to thank you. Thanks everyone that was watching us to the end. And if you like the content, please hit like button here on our channel and see you on the next session.
Subscribe to the
Subscribe, yeah.
channel, hit the
I always
like, and
forget.
see you on the next session.
See you.
All right.
So
Take care.
Take care,
Bye bye.
guys.
thank you. Thanks everyone.
I can hear some clicks, but I cannot see you guys.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Well,
Okay.
looks like
Uh,
Wave just put us out. Hey guys, I need to go here. Well, it was amazing. Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Thank you guys. It was
Thank
awesome.
you
Thanks
all.
a lot.
Me too.
Take
But
care.
Yogo, we can't hear you, but we can. We can we understand you. Bye.
Bye
Thank you.
bye. See you.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Can we leave? Okay. Bye. I can't hear you, but okay. Bye. Okay. I see an alert for me when I try to leave. I don't know which button should I click. There is ending this broadcast, not yet. Leave and keep it going. And a red button that I don't know what's going on. I'll try to press F5.